The Virginia Horse Industry Board, Southwest Virginia Agricultural Association, and the Virginia Christmas Tree Growers Association are proud sponsors of Virginia farming.
This program's brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Large or small, Virginia farmers work year-round to help put food on your table. And Farm Bureau works year-round to help farmers and all Virginians. Farming, it's all good. To learn more, go to vafarmbureau.org.
Brought to you by Farm Family. Life, auto, business, farm. Nancy Asher, stable owner, visionary, agent of change. Another personal story on farmfamilypeople.com. Farm Family, the people you know. Hi everybody, welcome to Virginia Farming. I'm Amy Rocher. This week we visit Zach Grandle at Plains Mill in Timberville. Grandle is in the process of restoring the grist mill as well as creating a distillery that will be powered by the same water. Then Mark Viette has tips on mulching when we go in the garden. Plus we'll have the Ag Calendar and a Minute in the Field. All this plus the Ag News of the Week on this edition of Virginia Farming. Virginia's new governor, Terry McAuliffe, has appointed Todd Haymore as Virginia's Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry and Molly Ward as Secretary of Natural Resources. Now, Haymore has served as the Virginia Secretary of Agriculture since January of 2010. During his tenure as Secretary, Haymore has focused on advocating for the agriculture and forestry industries, which contribute $79 billion annually to the Virginia economy. Now, Ward served as mayor of Hampton from 2008 to 2013, where she focused on economic development and issues related to the city of Hampton and the broader Hampton Roads region. USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey says the recent frigid weather was a deviation from what should be a mild winter. The USDA's Bob Ellison has more of what the rest of this winter should be like.
Compared to this past fall, winter will seem milder for much of the nation. That's the word from U.S. Department of Agriculture meteorologist Brad Rippey, who says the northern Pacific system that brought the harsh autumn is breaking down.
That will lead to the jet stream returning to a more normal position across the United States and lead to warming conditions and a return to above normal temperatures across the southern half of the United States.
But with that warmer, drier weather comes a continuation of the drought in large parts of the western U.S.
And so as long as the jet stream continues to bypass both to the north and the south of these areas, unfortunately it looks like a potential third year of drought may come to fruition here for these areas from California to Texas.
And Rippey says the drier weather means many places have already seen their big snow, although the northern U.S. looks like it will still get its share.
The greatest likelihood for continuation of stormy conditions will be through this northern tier of the country, stretching from perhaps the northern Rockies, northern Great Plains, on through the Great Lakes region and out through the Northeast.
In Washington, D.C., for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, I'm Bob Ellison.
Thanks, Bob. The Virginia Cattlemen's Convention is moving to the Rockingham County Fairgrounds in Harrisonburg. This year, the convention will be combined with the former Virginia Beef Expo and will consist of cattle sales, business meetings, educational seminars, and a large trade show with indoor and outdoor exhibits. Now, in the past, the Cattlemen's Convention and the Virginia Beef Expo were two separate events hosted by two separate groups. Executive Director of the Virginia Cattlemen's Association, Jason Carter, says they've combined the two to create an event that is more than just a cattle business or cattle sales. The event is scheduled for March 27th through the 30th. And speaking of cattle, there's a reversal in profit potential among grain and cattle producers. Cindy Campbell reports on what well-known market analysts say about the reversal and what it means for the coming years.
Both corn farmers and cattlemen should prepare for a change, says Ag Resource Company President Dan Bossy. Record corn crops, sufficient ending stocks, and export competition, along with flat ethanol demand, will push corn prices lower.
Somehow along the line there has to be a governor to the corn market. We think it's price, and we're preparing our producers anywhere for corn prices to drop to $3.25 to $4.50 for multiple years, and that the grain farmer, of course, is going to go through a much more difficult landscape than what he's seen in the last 7 years.
He expects corn acreage to scale back in response. That's good news for producers looking for pasture and forage.
And so this corn grab, if you will, of land for the last 7 years will change. And as we start to see beef profitability return, the cow-calf man will be stimulated. We're already looking at record large cow-calf profits, and that will cause, of course, land to transition back into pasture, a lower cost producing crop, and we'll see more of those acres throughout the plains at least by 2014 and 2015.
Cow herd expansion has already started, and Bossy predicts 3 more years of profit at the cow-calf level. But what's good news for cattlemen also increases the burden to deliver.
Just because grain prices come down and feed costs are declining doesn't mean we should ever look beyond quality, because the consumer is going to be spending more and more for beef and demanding more of us in terms of a producer in our productive capacity. So quality has to be considered, because if we're going to be paying those premiums, he wants to make sure that he gets a consistent product that is able to, of course, be palatable, well-liked, and storable within the home.
I'm Cindy Campbell.
Thanks, Cindy. Well, corn was not the only thing that was abundant this past year. Virginia's most recent oyster harvest has reached its highest level since 1987. This year's harvest of 406,000 bushels was also 60% greater than the previous year. Now, these numbers are expected to continue to increase due to the $2 million investment in oyster replenishment started by Governor McDonnell. The Virginia Marine Resource Commission estimates that every $1 spent by the state to plant oyster shells yields $7 in economic benefits. Well, a Virginia man is restoring a historical grist mill with plans to make local flour, cornmeal, and related products. His plans also call for a water-powered distillery to make Virginia whiskey and bourbon. We'll visit with Zach Grandle at Plains Mill in Timberville. That's straight ahead on Ag Insights. We're here today in Timberville, Virginia at Plains Mill. It's a historic site, and I'm joined by owner Zach Grandle. Zach is planning on restoring this to its original grist mill that's powered by water, as well as a distillery that's also powered by water. Zach, thanks so much for having us out today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
So my first question is, I want you to give me a little bit of history about this property.
Absolutely. The mill you see behind us was built in 1847. By Dr. Solomon Hinkle from Newmarket, Virginia. And the Hinkles were the millers here. The Hinkle family were millers here until the early 1900s. This mill was built in 1847, survived the Civil War. Previously, there was a mill that was built here in 1774 by Colonel Matthew Harrison and his wife. And it was built here to take advantage of the large flow of water from the Plains Mill Spring, which you can see flowing past this, which powers the mill. And then also, the Plains area was known for its agriculture. It's a real flat land, and it's where we'll get our grains from for the distillery and also for the milling businesses we have on site.
So what inspired you to purchase this property?
I'm a local guy. I grew up here locally in Broadway, Virginia. The mill is only about 5 miles from where I grew up. For me personally, there's a really deep history with the property. There's some things for the distillery that are very attractive to me. First of all, it's not registered historic yet. I'm in the process of putting on the state national registry. So that lets me fix up the property how I would want to do it instead of, having to take over somebody else's project. So that was appealing to me. The water source for the distillery is perfect for bourbon and for spirits. So being able to use that in the process was very attractive to me. And the local agriculture, it's surrounded by this great agricultural land. So, the area and the proximity to Interstate 81, it's so to bring tourists in relatively easy.
I want to talk a little bit about distilling spirits. What ingredients does it take, and where will you get those ingredients from?
The best part about this area in the distillery will be the agriculture that's in the Shenandoah Valley. In the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have access to so many great agriculture, grains, wood for the barrels to age it in, the water, everything here is all going to be sourced local. So I'll use the corn from across the street. I'll use corn rye, barley, and wheat for what I intend to make here, which will be bourbon, whiskeys, and then there's other types of spirits that we can play around with. Being a craft distillery, you have a little bit more play and to have a little bit more fun. I can do seasonal fruits with local orchards. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. But mainly the most important thing is the ingredients. The local fresh water, the fresh ingredients is really what's going to make the spirit.
So this distillery will be powered by this water, the water wheel behind us. Is that unique?
They are now. There's only, from my knowledge, there's only one other water-powered distillery in the country, and that's George Washington's distillery at Mount Vernon, which they just reopened a few years ago. So that distillery and this distillery will be very unique in that it's water-powered, a grist mill with a distillery. But that's the way that they would do it in the early 19th century, 18th century. Typically, they would have a sawmill, a distillery, and a grist mill in an operation like this. And actually in some of the old deeds, it makes reference to a distillery. And in some of the old Hinkle journals, we found references to distilleries here and then also local distilleries as well.
So the two distilleries in the nation that are powered by water are actually right here in Virginia.
Yeah, as far as I know, there was one in Indiana called Indian Creek. I believe it's Indian Creek. But the water-powered grist mill is no longer in operation. They just have a distillery now. So yeah, it'll be very unique. I'm really excited.
Tell me about your experience when you saw the property. You kind of knew that's what you wanted to do, but walk me through what happened when you saw that original deed.
Yeah. So the Hinkle family, Simon P. Hinkle and Dr. Solomon Hinkle, they were immaculate record keepers, and they kept daily journals, daily day books from the mill, ledgers, and things that we actually still have access to. The family has copies of these original books. There's copies of the Simon P. Hinkle journals, those volumes in the Library of Virginia. So we have access to go back and look at these books and records, and we can go back as we're fixing up the mill. We can go and see where they quarried the rock and where they got the lumber from. So we have all these different resources as far as the history that we know. Along with that, the water rights, at one point this was a 965 acre farm, and the water from the spring was on the farm. Throughout time, pieces of the farm has been sold off. The water rights still remain with the property. So as the chain of deed evolved through the 1800s till today, the water rights are actually deeded to the property so that nobody upstream could stop the water or take water out. And through those deeds, it mandates what those people could use the water for. And in an 1810 deed, which some descendants of the Hinkles, the Reynolds family who actually live across the street, they have a copy of an 1810 deed. And in that deed, it says that specifically that the water can only be used outside of the mill by anyone else or for the mill. The water can only be used for household use, for livestock, cattle, and for a distillery. And it specifically said that in the original deed, which, you read that kind of stuff and, 200 years later, here I come along and to my knowledge, I can't find actual proof that there was a distillery here. One can assume that there was at some point along the river. But for me, it just gives me chills to think that something 200 years ago is actually coming to life now.
So the distillery is part of the business, but you're also going to be operating a grist mill. What kind of products are you going to make using the grist mill?
We'll get everything restored to be water powered. And like I said, we had most of the original equipment still inside. What I'll do is we'll restore that, get it cleaned up. We'll have daily milling demonstrations where we can bring people in and show them how a typical 19th century milling operation was. This is one of the larger mills in Rockingham County. They would ship flour all the way to Baltimore, Richmond, and all over the eastern United States. So we'll bring people in, show them how they used to mill. And from that, we can make flour, cornmeal, different types of raw baking goods mixes, which we'll have here. We'll have a general store on site, and then we'll also distribute to local restaurants, local stores, local bakers, hopefully, and really get the community involved and let them have access to their local produce. local grains.
You can't get much more local or fresh than that, and the local fresh movement is really big right now. Do you see that contributing to your success in the future?
Absolutely. A lot of restaurants are starting to go local, and they're looking for resources such as a mill where you can get fresh stone ground, cornmeal, flour, stuff that they use every day. There's also going to be a lot of byproducts from the distillery, which we're excited to partner with local farmers to actually use the byproducts. So the spent mash, the grains, there's actually still nutritional value for the animals, for the livestock. So you can add that to hay and donate that to local farmers. And in turn, they could be raising hogs, livestock, cows, chicken. They can be raising other things that, could be used in a local restaurant, or even if we would do a restaurant here on site somewhere down the road.
So let's talk about job creation here in the Commonwealth. This is a big place. It certainly can't run itself. About how many employees do you plan on hiring?
At least five full-time employees. There's certain aspects of the distilling operation that are very intensive. The record keeping, the taxation, things that we're going to need people on it full-time. The sales, the distribution. There's opportunities there. There's opportunities for a miller, a head miller to come in and work here full-time, and there's so many different jobs. You're creating a true agritourism destination here. What are your plans for this entire place? Hopefully a lot cleaner. I kind of found it, it's been pretty much untouched and dirty for about 13 years. So it's a vacant building. So cleaned up. We look to get it cleaned up, polished up. The original mill, I'd like to look as original as possible based on the old photographs that we have. I am looking to have some new construction for the retail area, the tasting rooms, to put bathrooms in and bring everything up to code. So there will be some new construction, but we want to kind of have that in kind, similar in kind, where it looks and it fits along with the original buildings as much as possible. And everything will be water powered, and I'd like to keep it that way. It'll be a very green and energy efficient and water powered industry. I'd like to have this a family friendly as possible, to be able to bring in schools for to do tours and field trips and things like that. I could understand, some people may not want their child to go through a distillery, and that's perfectly understandable, So it will be separate. The distillery will be completely separate from the milling operation, and we like to keep it that way to allow everybody to come in. And some people will be interested in one thing and may not be interested in another, and we'll give them the opportunity to pick and choose. People want more information about Plains Mill. Where can they go? We have a website, www.plainsmill.com. People can go there and find out more about the restoration project that we've got going on with the original mill, as well as the distillery, the event area, and everything else. So we have our website, plainsmill.com, and then we've also got a Facebook page that we keep updated with new content. This Plains Mill on Facebook, Timberville, Virginia. Okay. Thanks so much for having us out today. Absolutely. And we certainly wish you luck with everything you have going on. Thank you. We'll be right back. Mulching your garden helps keep moisture in and weeds out. Mark Viette has tips to make the best use of your time. Let's go in the garden.
When you're thinking of mulching your garden to control weeds and conserve on water, there are different types of mulches that you can use. It's important that you use something that doesn't break down quickly, something that lasts a long time, because your labor in applying it needs to be taken into account, and something that really allows water to go through it and doesn't allow weeds to grow in it. But one of the most important things you have to do is start out weed-free. So normally mulches are best applied right before forsythias bloom in the garden. But if you've missed that, you can still apply mulches later. So you want to make sure that you get rid of the weeds. That's really easy to do. Right here we have a swing hoe, and you just come right down in a garden, and this cuts the weeds out. You get rid of the weeds, and now I'm starting out completely weed-free. As to the mulches that you can use in the garden, there are a couple types of mulches that you probably don't want to use. You don't want to use peat moss. You don't want to use compost. You don't want to use composted bark. And you can find all those products. Those are great products, but you need to use those products to mix in the soil. This is a soil conditioner. So this needs to be mixed in when you're planting your plants. Applying this to the surface of your soil will allow weeds to grow in it and through it. So these two materials are great, but use them to amend your soil. What you really want to use is something that is known as pine bark, pine chips. I prefer pine because pine lasts longer than hardwoods. What you find with hardwoods is they break down very quickly. Wood chips can break down in as quick as 6 weeks. But some of these pine products, including pine needles, can last as long as 12 months, 14 months, and 17 months. So what you want to do is take your mulch to a weed-free area, and I apply only 2 to 3 inches of this mulch in the garden. Don't apply more. You want to eventually end up with about 3 inches, so use a ruler. And what I sometimes do is take mulch and I just, take it like this and dump it in little piles. And then I take my hand and come around the plants just like this. And the eventual depth is 2 to 3 inches, just like this. Now, if you have plants that reseed in the garden, like Helleborus, you might want to keep the mulch away. But again, start out weed-free, 2 to 3 inches. This keeps the soil cool, so you don't get really high temperatures or cool temperatures, and the pine or pine needles will last a long time. And this is very attractive in a garden. It really kind of sets off your green plants with the brightly colored mulch that you see here. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
Taking a look at the Ag calendar, the 2014 Winter Forage Conference will be held at 4 locations on January 27th through the 30th. The conference will provide training in soil health, giving participants greater knowledge of soil's potential as the foundation of all agriculture. More information and registration information can be found at the web address on your screen. The Rockingham Feeder Cattle Association is collecting heifers to send to blizzard-struck South Dakota to distribute to ranchers who experienced high death loss in their cattle herds. Many producers in South Dakota lost in excess of 50% of their cow herd and many calves that had yet to be marketed. These farmers are in desperate need of support to get back on their feet. Now anyone who raises cattle can donate a heifer. Those that do not raise cattle can make monetary donations to go towards the purchase of heifers or help cover the cost of transportation and feed. The Rockingham Feeder Cattle Association is taking up both bred heifers and open breeding age heifers. For more information, contact Matthew Spinagle or Lynn Kuntz. We'll have more information on the heifer campaign in next week's show. Well, that does it for this week's show. Thanks for watching and have a great week. I'm Amy Rocher for Virginia Farming.
This program's brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. From apples to zucchini, Virginia farmers work hard to put food on your table. And Farm Bureau works year-round to help farmers and all Virginians. Farming, it's all good. To learn more, go to vafarmbureau.org.
Brought to you by Farm Family. Life, auto, business, farm. Steve Morse, fruit grower, distiller, entrepreneur. Another personal story on farmfamilypeople.com. Farm Family, the people you know. Join Virginia Farming on Facebook. Get updates throughout the week on topics that matter to Virginia farmers and consumers. Share your thoughts and ideas with us and stay connected with agriculture in the Commonwealth. Find us and like us. Virginia Farming on Facebook. We'll see you there.